Congratulations and welcome. Good evening. If our graduates and our faculty can have a seat. So my name is Dr. Vajra Watson. I am the faculty director, proud faculty director of the Doctorate in Educational Leadership. Let's make some noise. Yes. So good evening, EDD community, scholars, family, and friends. Welcome to the hooding ceremony for Cohort 13. Cohort 13, make some noise. Come on, you know you can. Yes. I want to acknowledge President Nelson and Provost Nevadas for their steadfast leadership and support. While they were scheduled to speak, they had COVID exposures and they send their sincere regrets. However, we are fortunate to have Dean Sidorkin of the College of Education and Dean Hyson of the College of Social Science and Interdisciplinary Studies here with us. I want to thank members of our EDD Advisory Board and our alumni, all who've traveled far and wide, as well as all of you for being with us. I also want and need to appreciate the EDD faculty. Professor and EDD Associate Director Lisa Romero, Associate Professor Frank Adamson, Assistant Professors Elizabeth Morgan and Shiva Sabati, as well as our dual appointment faculty who are instrumental mentors in the work of our students. Professors Rob Wasmer, Dale Allender, Sarah Juganatos, Steve Brock, and Ted Lasher. This particular cohort also got to work closely with Professors Caroline Turner, Rose Barunda, Malika Hollinside, and our EDD founder, Carlos Nevadas. Altogether, the work of these faculty has guided us into this sacred moment. Sacred meaning highly valued, important, entitled to reverence and respect. I'm intentionally using the word sacred as a way to call in the ceremonial aspect of an academic hooding. Each student here today is entering the academic lineage of their dissertation chairs and committee members. Cohort 13 entered our program as consumers of knowledge and were forced to read an exorbitant amount of literature in a very limited amount of time. They took intensive courses like quantitative methods, policy 1 and 2, human resource management, and had to pass multiple milestones like the qualifying exam just to make it to the dissertation stage. Each of our graduates then set out to conduct original research. They were further guided, pushed, and prodded by their committee members to dig even deeper. Maybe they had to revise their conceptual framework, or perhaps code a bit differently. Once the committee agreed their work was worthy of wider witness, then they had to defend their findings in a public forum. None of this has been easy. The stress. Any family feel that stress? Yeah, stress can be contagious. And while these struggles are very real, they also have purpose and meaning. There's an old saying that pressure either busts pipes or makes diamonds. Consider the pressure of working full-time, juggling family responsibilities, and pursuing a doctoral degree in just 3 years. This kind of pressure is not for the faint of heart. This kind of pressure demands an inner discipline that is fierce, forceful, and phenomenal. I promise that each of these graduates had moments when they questioned their ability to get here. And yet something inside of them, perhaps the support from some of you, allowed them to keep going, allowed them to work hard, commit to their own worthiness and wisdom, and manifest this moment. So yes, we are here in ceremony, and we are here to celebrate. These Sac State Doctors of Education are scholar practitioners who are able to develop rigorous research agendas that impact policy and practice, people, and programs. These are the leaders who live their legacy. These are the leaders who improve institutions and impact society. I want to close and land inside the word diamond. You have to dig so deep to discover a diamond. There are lessons in this diamond work. Practically, you have to go hundreds of miles towards the Earth's core to discover a diamond. Metaphorically, you have to go hundreds of miles towards the core of yourself. And how do diamonds form? Simply put, carbon plus high Sacramento summer heat and pressure like that from the EDD professors, produces an indestructible conduit of knowledge. That's you. Each of you who are graduating today. Diamonds are used in specialized saws to cut through the harshest of data sets. Diamonds are able to break light rays and reflect them back to the viewer. Diamonds are also political and connected to resource wars and oppressive systems of inequality, exploitation, and liberation. All of this reality comprises the journey and the outcome. How we gather in ceremony to honor these diamonds in our midst. This has been diamond work, pressure work, people. These doctors are diamonds in a wayward educational system that will continue to test our tenacity and capacity for transformative leadership. It is not easy work, and believe me, it is not an easy title. A doctor of education demands that we don't acquiesce to the school systems we have, but we seek to embody the school systems that we want. May we use today as a catalyst for community building and a way to honor the lineage of doctors who paved the way for this extraordinary and powerful group of change agents. Please make some noise for Cohort 13. And I'm talking family reunion type of noise. We really did this kind of noise. Can our ancestors hear us kind of noise? Does the future feel us kind of noise? Yes, let's do this. I want to bring up to the microphone Dean Sasha Sidorkin. You guys did this.
Thank you, Vajra. I want to share a piece of research that I've seen recently. 99.99% of all commencement attendants forget the commencement speech within 24 hours or less. So anything I'll say today, you will promptly forget. So therefore, I have the freedom to say anything I want. Unfortunately, there's a camera there, so it will probably be recorded if I say something very stupid. But when I asked Vajra, what do you want me to say? She said, well, say something cheerful, something positive. You know, we need some good news. And I was thinking about how the human memory works. Like today, or on Sunday when you have a big commencement, the day itself doesn't necessarily feel as, it kind of sometimes feels anticlimactic. But then, later in your life, you will remember that day, although nothing terribly tragic or exciting happened. Because if you kind of review your life, that's a sequence of events, sequence of your celebrations and your losses. That's what makes the life story. That's how memory works. I'll give you another example about memory. I had several wonderful mentors that taught me over my lifetime. I really don't remember many facts that they taught me. I don't. Maybe I don't remember many facts, period. But it's not the facts. It's the way of thinking. It's the way of being in the world that I absorbed from them. So when you thank your mentors, your teachers, your committee members today, think about that. What is it that you got from them? It's not the definitions. It's not maybe the specific theory. It's the way of being in the world. And that one you cannot wipe out from your memory. Always remember that, because it becomes part of you, your own kind of construction of yourself. Also, I want to remind you that we just lived through 2 years of pretty bad pandemic, which uprooted many of us, changed the way we do things, we teach, we learn, and all of that. You went through this, and of course it is sometimes uncomfortable, sometimes painful when you go through that journey. but it really creates that memory bank that tells you that you haven't achieved something. Overcoming difficulties is what we do. That's what we do. Life is overcoming difficulties. So I want you also to commit to your memory that you did actually a very unusual thing in your doctoral program, and you went through it, and you're successful. Let's not forget that. And finally, also, please don't forget to thank your families, people who were with you. Some of them were doubting you're really in your sound mind. So thank them that they didn't tell you directly that you might be crazy. You're spending all this money, all this time for getting a degree that you are not quite sure what to do with, right? So for their kind of support and their tactfulness that they didn't call you on what you're doing, please do thank them. And I want to congratulate all of you. You did a great job. You are here. That's an accomplishment. Thank you, and have a great celebration.
And now, Dr. Frank Adamson will introduce William D'Antona.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to introduce William D'Antona of Cohort 12. As an international studies faculty at Chico, William understands the value of studying abroad, where students can truly learn a second language. They can increase their intercultural experience and their awareness. So he studied what helps students choose studying abroad in his dissertation entitled Inspiring International Interest in Students and Engagement Courses' Influence on Study Abroad. For the first time in education, William used a systems dynamics model to analyze 10 years of data with calculus instead of linear statistics to better understand the flow of students into study abroad. He found that males and underrepresented minorities had a latent desire to study abroad, and administrators could consider ways of removing obstacles for them. And personally, William overcame difficult circumstances to persevere using a new, challenging, and exciting systems dynamic method. For your work, I, Dr. Adamson, confer upon you the degree of doctor, and I hood you Dr. William D'Antona. Come on up.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. It's fun to go first. I would like to thank Dr. Adamson and Dr. Mills and Dr. Jeff Traylor for serving on my committee. Without their help and guidance and support, I would not have accomplished what I set out to do in this doctoral program. I'd like to also thank Dr. Watson and Tina Weekly and everybody in the EDD department, as well as Dr. Romero, for allowing me the time that I needed to complete this project, given the circumstances of my family. Without the extra time, without the extra service, it would not have been accomplishable. So I very much appreciate that as well. And then I, of course, appreciate a great deal my wife, Lilith Iverson, and my children for putting up with me during this time and always believing in me. And I remember asking Lilith, I said, "Do you think I'll make it?" And she said, "I never doubted it for a second." So that's the kind of support I really appreciate. And then finally, I'd like to thank Benna Arau. Dr. Arau is here today, and Dr. Pinto, and Julius Walker and Mitch Castleman from Cohort 12 for staying in touch with me and keeping me on track and being so supportive as colleagues in this endeavor. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, so very much. Thank you.
And now, Dr. Frank Adamson will introduce Zachary Dowell.
It's my pleasure to introduce Zach Dowell. During a qualitative research class, Zach said he wanted to do a grounded theory study, to which I replied, well, that's uncommon in the EDD and quite difficult because you actually have to develop a theory. Seriously intrigued and definitely undeterred, Zach wrote his dissertation entitled Making Connections to Make Meaning, a constructivist grounded theory study of community college maker educators working within the system. That's a mouthful. In his study of maker faculty and staff in higher education, he developed the Maker Educators Making Meaning theoretical framework that reveals how faculty make connections, make meaning, and work within the system. Zach then contrasts the economic focus of the CCC Maker Initiative at the system level with the importance of making meaning for study participants as creative, contextualized education. Through Zach's project, I came to understand makerspaces not as a place for 3D printers, but as a pedagogical source that embraces learning as the process of creating meaning. For your work, I, Dr. Frank Adamson, confer upon you the degree of doctor, and hood you, Dr. Zach Dowell.
Thanks, folks. I want to thank Dr. Adamson for chairing my committee, Dr. Mimi Coughlin, who's out there somewhere, Dr. Stephanie Santoso. I want to thank my scholar colleagues in Cohort 13. I want to thank the folks who generously gave of their time for my study. And I want to thank my mom and dad, Chris and Pat, my brothers, Chris and Josh. My brothers, Chris and Josh, my sons, Jedediah and Josiah, and my wife, Liz. Thank you.
And now, Dr. Frank Adamson will introduce Darren Lovelace.
All right, now I would like to introduce Darren Lovelace. So who here has said to themselves, I'm just not a math person? When will I ever use this math in real life? Well, as a math teacher in K-12, Darren is all too familiar with math anxiety in his students, so he set out to study it and its possible antidote, mathematics resilience, in his research, writing his dissertation entitled, Does Mathematical Resilience Address Mathematics Anxiety? A measurement validation study for high school students. In this dissertation, he completed the first validation study of math resilience at the high school level using structural equation modeling to analyze over 1,000 student survey responses that he collected himself. Darren found that we might need to shift focus. Instead of targeting the growth mindset and possibly placing responsibility for learning on children instead of supporting them, Darren's research revealed the importance of how students value math in relation to math resilience. In Darren's own words, mathematics is about patterns, sense-making, problem-solving, and developing the capacity to notice and wonder about how the world can be a better place. On a personal level, Darren served as my TA this year, and he brought his exceptional classroom experience to my class, and I remain very appreciative of his help. For your work, I, Dr. Frank Adamson, confer upon you the degree of doctor and hood you, Dr. Darren Lovelace.
Thank you, Dr. Adamson, and welcome everyone. I do want to thank Dr. Adamson especially for helping me to get what we might call a research agenda down to a research topic for a dissertation. Dr. Romero for schooling me up on structural equation modeling in a very short period of time, much appreciated. and Dr. Janice Cookin, who couldn't be here tonight because she's in Connecticut, which is where she lives and does her work, and it was her study of college students that I was able to test in a high school population. So thank her very much for her willingness to participate. And then I have to thank, of course, all my amazing colleagues in Cohort 13. We've been through it, friends, and here we are. For my fellow teachers and the administration at the school where I teach, Cristo Rey High School, just such a supportive community there for me in this process, for the students of Cristo Rey High School around the country who participated in this survey, for all the support of the EDD program, Tina, of course, and the others as well. And then my wife, Marcia, who one night back in, I don't know, around 2018 or so said, you know, there's this information night at Sac State for EDD program, you should go. And she was right, I should, and I did. So without her encouragement, I wouldn't have even started it. And with her encouragement, I was able to finish it. So thanks, everyone.
And finally, I would like to introduce Rebecca Woolston. Unfortunately, the events of the past week in Buffalo are another sad reminder of the context of white heteropatriarchal supremacy and the settler colonial environment that we are all living in. Rebecca explicitly identified these social contexts and studied their replication through the American literary canon and their manifestation within our higher education classrooms in her dissertation entitled Reclaiming Power Through Interpretation: Navigating the Emergent American Canon in Higher Education. Rebecca finds that students can encounter oppression in canonical texts that do not represent them and in classroom situations that diminish or ignore their social positions. However, the classroom also offers a space for instructors and students alike to interpret text differently through critical reading, which can trend towards liberation for students as their positionality receives attention and support, even when navigating traditionally canonical texts. In addition to her incredibly relevant dissertation, Rebecca also served as DELSA president, helping with myriad activities such as writing workshops, coordinating gatherings, student advocacy, and being the change she wants to see. For your work, I, Dr. Frank Adamson, confer upon you the degree of doctor and hood you Dr. Rebecca Woolston.
I can't say too much because I'm going to cry. So thank you again to my committee. We were working right up until the deadline and then making our own deadlines. So the push and the support really mattered. To Cohort 13, to all my girls, kept it real. And then to my family, my past, my present. Thank you.
And now, Dr. Dale Allender will introduce Gabriela Ballesteros.
A quick shout out to everybody who made it up to the doctoral level from the community college level. Okay. So I want to start out by saying philosopher Maisha Cherry makes a case for rage. She says that righteous anger is not only helpful, it's necessary for transforming institutional cultures. Well, Gabby entered into her program intent on subverting and resisting not only the old Western structures, but very specifically, she wanted to take a stab at white supremacist and misogynist culture as it is represented in the academic institution. She took a stab at linearity, at hierarchy, right? And she said that we need to represent collective voices and get away from this notion of individuality and bootstraps discourse that so often pervades our consciousness. And she did that brilliantly, collectively, and beautifully. And then she said, I don't just want to resist, but I want to teach you all that there's value in doing that, and there's value in recognizing administrative models that are built in resistance. So I congratulate her for doing so, and I'm honored to hood her on this day.
Hello. I too am very emotional, clearly. I want to thank Dr. Allender, Dr. Watson, and my third committee member, Dr. Alawi from San Francisco State, who couldn't be here. I wouldn't be here without the three of you. Sorry. To my family, my parents, my brother, John, a long journey. To my cohort, thank you so much. From the beginning, I've always said this degree was bigger than myself. It's for my family, it's for my community, and for those who came before me. So I'm very thankful and honored to be here. Thank you.
And now Dr. Dale Allender will introduce Amber Bradley.
Wow, so 2 years ago, at the end of the summer, at the close of a summer of righteous uprising, after the death of George Floyd, institutions all over the country, and indeed all over the world, engaged in discourse to change a neo-genocidal relationship with Black Americans. Now, 2 years later, we can look around and we can make some assessment as to how those institutions are doing. Amber Bradley said, I'm not going to wait around for that. I'm going to assess you in the moment. And she looked at 3 institutions in the state of California that are model institutions for policy around the country and around the world. And she says, let's look at your discourse where the rubber meets the road, and let's find out how and what you're doing, and let's give credit to the folks who are really doing it. She did so, and then she returned the substance of her research back to the community. Amber Bradley's research embodies the idea of all power to the people. And I'm honored to be able to confer this doctoral degree upon her. Thank you, Amber.
This is a little harder than I thought it was going to be. I want to start by thanking Dr. Allender, of course, for all of your help, all of your guidance. You have provided me with so much wisdom over the course of this year. I could not be more grateful to you. And to my committee members, Dr. Watson and Dr. Sabati, who gave me more reading than I knew what to do with. But thank you so much, because you made me a better writer and a better scholar, and I appreciate you. I, of course, have to thank my family, my parents, my brother, my sister-in-law, who were always there for me throughout all of my anxiety attacks, throughout every bit of panic that I had, even up to today before this. So thank you so much. And then, of course, to my girls, thank you so much for everything. You all are the reason that I am able to be here. You all have been resisting this entire time, and I am proud to be resisting with you. And then, of course, to the community-based organizers are the ones who made this change. I am just lucky enough to be able to amplify their voices and their stories. They are the ones that are out there making the change in our communities, and we need to be paying attention to our community organizers. Thank you.
And now Dr. Stephen Brock will introduce Eric Crawford.
Good evening, everyone. Eric could not be here today, but since it's being recorded, and for his colleagues in the cohort, I did want to say a few words about Eric Allen Crawford. Eric many of you may not know this, began his journey through higher education at Sac State, and in 1996, he obtained his BA degree. Then, after obtaining 2 other master degrees, he enrolled at Sac State. As if 2 graduate degrees weren't enough, he decided to go for a 3rd. So now in 2022, he completes his EDD at Sac State. Eric's dissertation was titled Making the Call, a study of administrators' experiences with student expulsion. This qualitative study adds to our understanding of factors associated with school expulsion, which is absolutely essential given what we know to be the powerful association between expulsion, school achievement, and the school-to-prison pipeline. I wish he were here today, but Eric had a really important family commitment, which I totally respect him skipping this for, even though this is an important event. So anyway, Eric, hi, and I would love to hoot you sometime.
And now Dr. Stephen Brock will introduce Lorena Lopez.
Hi, Lorena. How you doing? You feeling good? Little nervous? Not as nervous as you were during your defense, though, right? No. Which you did a marvelous job at. Speaking of being made at Sac State, Lorena is truly made at Sac State. BA in 2011, MA in 2014, and now in 2022, her EDD. Lorena's dissertation was titled A Phenomenological Study of the Lived Experiences of Latina Single Mothers Who Raised Academically Successful Children. Go ahead, you can do that. Lorena's research was very much appreciated both by myself and her committee members because unlike many studies in this vein, which kind of look at the variables associated with academic failure, Lorena looked at the variables associated with success. A line of study, I hope she continues, and actually she should be publishing at some point, right? At any rate, it's my pleasure at this point, family, friends, and colleagues, to present you Dr. Lorena Lopez.
Okay, thank you. I had to write my 1-minute speech because I'm going to translate it to Spanish for my family to understand. So I want to start out by saying thank you to everyone. This is a wonderful day for me, and I'm honored to be with each and every one of you. I would like to thank Dr. Brock, my chair for my dissertation, and my committee members, Dr. Romero and Dr. Granados. Thank you for all your guidance and advice through all this journey, for responding to my emails, for meeting up with me. I also want to thank my family for their support, especially my mother, who experienced this journey with me and ensured that my son was cared for so that I could achieve this degree and be where I am today. To my brother, who is in Cohort 14, I want to say thank you for listening to me when I encouraged you to apply for this program. I knew you would enjoy it. Thank you, Rika, for engaging in lengthy conversations with me about our various research interests. We get each other. To my dad, I want to say thank you because despite the fact that he doesn't say much, I know how much he cares and values education, and I know he's proud of me. And Gio, my son, thank you. This is for you. You're my biggest motivation, my inspiration. And remember, Gio and Mama, always together. Now in Spanish, really quick. I want to say, I said in Spanish, sorry. All right, let me shift my mind. Quiero dar las gracias a mi chair, Dr. Brock, que fue mi director durante mi disertación, y a los miembros de mi comité, Dr. Romero and Dr. Granados, gracias por todo su apoyo. También quiero agradecer a mi familia por su apoyo, en especial a mi madre, quien vivió esta jornada conmigo y se encargó de que mi hijo fuera atendido para que yo pudiera alcanzar este grado de educación y estar donde estoy ahora. A mi hermano, que es parte de Cohort 14, gracias por tu apoyo y por escucharme cuando te animé a unirte a este programa. Sabía que lo ibas a disfrutar. Gracias por entablar largas conversaciones conmigo sobre nuestros diversos intereses de investigación. A mi papá quiero agradecerle por estar aquí presente el día de ahora y porque a pesar de que no dice muchas palabras, yo sé que él aprecia y tiene un gran valor hacia la educación y está orgulloso de mí. Muchas gracias. Y a mi niño, a mi hijo Gio y mamá siempre juntos. ¡Yay!
And now Dr. Stephen Brock will introduce Ashley Trezza.
Hi, Ashley. How's it going? Another graduate who can argue was made at Sac State. An MS in 2014 and now in 2022, her doctorate. By the way, her master's degree was also at a CSU, not that I'm biased or anything, but Chico? No, that was your bachelor's. Yeah. Chico? Chico State. Yeah, CSU. Yay. Ashley's dissertation was titled Adverse Childhood Experiences, or ACEs, and the Community. Ashley selected a very challenging methodological approach to the study of variables associated with ACEs. Specifically, she used hierarchical multiple regression analysis.
I forgot I did that.
You did that. You did that. Her results suggested the power of median family income in predicting the absence of ACEs. A finding that, quite frankly, blew her committee away. We were really shocked. We thought it might have an implication, but wow, very powerful. At any rate, friends, family, colleagues, at this point, it's my pleasure to hood Dr. Ashley Trezza. You got it. You got it.
Hi, everyone. Woo! I just want to thank my family, my friends, Cohort 13, Dr. Brock, Dr. Adamson, Dr. Holland. I picked a topic that I wanted to be qualitative, but it just wouldn't be. So it was quantitative, and it was tough for me, but I did it. I don't know if Dr. Adamson remembers telling me this, but he told me one time, you shouldn't not do something because it's hard. You're right. So I did it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Lorena and Beth, my DCDs, for supporting me in this journey in the program and outside of it. And yay, Cohort 13!
And now Dr. Sarah Juganatos will introduce Paulo Pinto.
Paulo, stop it, acting like you're not supposed to be there. You're in the right space, sir. So we introduce systematic change as a necessary concept for educational leaders early in the EDD system, early in the program, for a reason. Your ability to learn this concept and apply it, you did this deep within your research. It's pertinent and commendable. Please know I recognize your personal and professional commitments to this research. I see that this is personal, and I value that. I know in my heart you're gonna make change based on your findings, based on your passion, and based on who you are. I believe your findings contribute to the literature and to your field. I am so eager to see you thrive as you continue to challenge the status quo and increase access for students while elevating cultural connections. because that's really why you're doing this work, and it's beautiful to see. So congratulations, Dr. Pinto.
I will get to thank everyone in a second. Throughout the program, there were two questions that our professors kept posing us. So what? And what's missing? Today, we are witnessing the answers to those two questions. Not only because of the formation of this new cohort, who is now more leaders that we have, so there's less missing, and also the passion and the vigor that they're going to go into the field to help others and to project their leadership. So in that journey that it's taking 4 years, Dr. Jugonatos, Dr. Komiyama, Dr. Omori could not be here. I definitely tested the patience of a saint limits of all of them. Many, many, many times. At times I thought that they probably are pulling their hair but they still have their hair on. The three musketeers back there, three of my former instructors and colleagues, Aaron, Vanessa, Jamie, they embody what is the ethic of care. They already taught me a lot throughout this program. And Dr. Ben Arau, the same thing that the newly minted Dr. William Daytona III, I want to echo the same shout out for Dr. Arau was always constantly calling me and probing me. Say, Paulo, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you there? Are you getting there? And my dear Dean, Jenny Murphy, who nominated me for this program. And so I didn't want to make her lose faith in me. I didn't want them to make her feel bad for putting my name out there. So I wanted to have her be proud. And so thank you. And all the faculty, Dr. Romero, everyone, thank you, thank you.
Stop it. I'm going to need 3 minutes at least. Dr. Stovall, it's been a true honor, an honor to walk with you in this journey. It's not, I tell her constantly, she says, we did it, and we didn't do it. You did it. This is your journey. I had the honor to walk beside you, and thank you for that. You've challenged yourself and elevated critical research that will benefit the youth of today and those to come. This doesn't stop today. It doesn't stop with you. It doesn't stop with ours. It is forever. This is forever. Please know I recognize your tenacity, your commitment to your faith, to your family, and to you, to your education. Kudos. You're a practitioner, a real game changer. It's amazing to stand up here with you. I feel like you should be right next to me, just like all of the committee members. It's just easier for us to hood you down there. That's all. I'm little. I sincerely look forward to seeing you move mountains, because you're going to do it. Congratulations, Dr. Stovall.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much, Dr. J. I want to also acknowledge Dr. Hollenside. I don't believe she's here, as well as Dr. Watson, for your guidance and support throughout this process. I, too, took 4 years to complete this program, and I am blessed and thankful to be here. I'd like to also acknowledge my mother, who invested in my education as a child and has been there, but she's here today, inspiring and encouraging me through. Dr. Romero as well, who was there when I took my break and was there welcoming me back, as well as sending me that sweet email the day that I finally defended my dissertation. So thank you. And then last but not least, my husband, who has been my rock through this entire journey and committed to ensuring that I made it through my EDD 20 years ago when we met and began dating, through marriage and now 3 children. My mother-in-law, who is here as well, who has loved on me as her own and gave me keys to her home to ensure that I had a place to lay my head at night as I was commuting to school working on my undergraduate degree. And then, of course, last but not least, my loves, Ashaya, Rodney, and Ashari. This is for you. I love you so much, and thank you.
And now Dr. Brandon Huganatos for Dr. Carlos Navarez will introduce Matthias Colwell.
Here we go. Matthias, you did it, sir. I remember you in EDD, 613, the budget finance class. I said, he's got some ideas. We're so proud of your growth in the program and the development of your research lens. You chose to pursue both a timely and an acute shift in the retention of those human capital who not only recruit, but really engage and empower students to invest in themselves and in their education. Remote admissions professionals within the admissions department. We know your findings are going to inspire many, but having been within the field, I can certainly attest to this. We know your findings are going to inspire further inquiry and exploration and have significant implications for leadership, practice, policy, among lots of different higher education enrollment leadership. We know that to be sure. On behalf of your chair, who couldn't be here this evening, Provost Navarez, committee member Dr. Ed Mills, and myself, we congratulate you on this incredible milestone and wish you well in your future endeavors. I look forward to introducing you as Dr. Matthias Colwell.
Thank you very much. I'm not big for speeches, so I'll try to keep it short and sweet. Thank you to my committee members. Like everybody else, it took a lot of hard work to get me through it, and I appreciate that. Thank you to the cohort. You all know who have been helping me out a little bit extra along the way. Thank you to my family for being here and supporting me at every stage. And then, of course, the biggest thanks to my wife, Michelle, for being in the trenches with me and allowing this program to kind of swallow our first 2 years of marriage. So thank you. I love you. Thanks a lot.
And now Dr. Lisa Romero will introduce Jasmine Campos.
I am so pleased to introduce Jasmine Nicole Campos. Jasmine's dissertation topic was super timely. She looked at the stress experiences and outcomes in diverse college students, and she applied the stress process model. Now, many of you maybe have never heard of the stress process model, but it's actually a widely applied model in and beyond academia for understanding the effect of stress on students' academic outcomes. Yet, it has never been applied to college students, nonetheless diverse college students. So Jasmine applied this to diverse college students. She used data on over 1,500 students, survey data. So her research was a mixed methods. Mixed methods for the for the families out there, I know the graduates know this, is it's a quantitative research study where she uses statistics, and then a qualitative research studies where she did in-depth, deep dive interviews. Uh-oh, I see the stop already. Okay. Let me just say this. She did 2 dissertations where everybody did 1. And I am so pleased to confer upon Jasmine Nicole Campos the degree of Doctorate in Educational Leadership.
Hello, everybody. When I was an undergraduate student in psychology, my old research lab professor used to say, structural equation modeling is a Ferrari and you cannot have the keys. But Dr. Romero gave me the keys to that Ferrari, so I'd like to thank her for doing that. It's not, is it a Ferrari? I don't really know. But yeah, for sure. I'd like to thank also Dr. Morgan and Dr. Din from my committee for helping me through this gruesome project that I've had to do. It's really hard to study stress while you're really stressed out, so I will say that. I'd also like to thank everybody in Cohort 13, my sister Jenna, and all of my girls. And then lastly, I'd like to thank my family for supporting me and bringing me tons of food while I stared at a screen for hours. Thanks, everybody. Okay.
And now Dr. Lisa Romero will introduce Jenna Tryon Polhemus.
Where are you, Jenna? I'm really pleased to introduce Jenna. Jenna's dissertation focused on respect and student respect and how that plays a role in students' perception of the school discipline process and school climate. She did this. She also used structural equation modeling. She used the California Healthy Kids Survey of over almost 54,000 student responses. She analyzed the data, and I don't see the stop yet. Anyway, it was a fantastic Ferrari dissertation. And I'm also happy to say Jenna was my art research assistant for all 3 years, and I'm so pleased to award Jenna a doctorate in educational leadership.
Thank you to everyone that is here tonight, family, friends, and graduates, professors alike. Thank you to Dr. Romero. She mentioned she's put up with me for 3 years through research, coursework, and unlimited questions starting from the very first weekend of class going to office hours. Thank you to the other members of my committee, my family, my friends, my coworkers also at Cristo Rey, and my dog Dottie. I'm very, very happy to be here and so excited that we all made it. Some of us might still be a year behind or finishing otherwise important things, but they stay near and dear to my heart. And I'm so, so happy that we got to do this in person. So thank you to Cohort 13. I feel like Elle Woods. We did it! So thank you.
And now for Dr. Caroline Turner, Dr. Lisa Cardoza will introduce Linda Delgadillo.
Well, I will just say I am feeling the love for the ladies tonight. I just want to acknowledge the communities that were built during this process, and kudos to you all. It takes a village, and I am feeling it tonight. So it is an extreme honor and a humbling privilege to be here in Dr. Caroline Turner's place. Linda, Caroline sends her deepest congratulations, and I know if she could be here, she would. And again, it is humbling to be in her place. So Linda's dissertation was titled Las Adelitas, Underrepresented Latina Administrators in the California Community System. And I will tell you, I was moved by Linda's dissertation. I know Linda was changed by going through this process. And what is education, knowledge, research, what is it if it doesn't change you? And so I just want to give you kudos to that. Linda used a method called pláticas. And so if you're from the Latinx community, right, we're always talking. We're always around pláticas, right? We're always embracing the community in conversation. But what this method did, I will say, I was so proud to be part of your committee because you brought into academia a place where, you know what, to be honest, sometimes we're not welcome. And our methods probably aren't accepted. And Linda brought it into this part of the research. You are now published. It is now part of the work that we do in academia to have these pláticas, to have these conversations with each other that don't just move the researcher, but move everybody who is part of this process. So kudos to you. And so I just want to say it is my sincere pleasure to introduce you to Doctora Linda Delgadillo.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to say thank you to Dr. Lisa Cardoza, Dr. Turner. I know my heart is hurting so much. I wish she was here, but I'm sending her healthy blessings, and I hope to meet her. I hope to hug her soon. Also, Dr. Molina, who was a colleague who led me walk in his office and just vent. But I really want to say thank you to Dr. Cardoza in the sense with Pláticas. It's non-traditional. I got pushback on it, and luckily Dr. Cardoza said, hey, my mentor did Pláticas, so she had my back. And so without her help, I don't know that I would be here. Thank you so much. I want to thank my family, my parents that are here, and my son, Stephen. I remember when I got my master's, he was in kindergarten or first grade, and I remember telling him I have no more school because he was doing sports. So I waited until he graduated from Chico in 2018. Then I got him back into school. So no more school. I'm done with school. And I want to thank my cohort, the parking lot group, and my girls for always being there, letting me text them at 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. And to my girlfriends in West Sac, my West Sac bubble, that provided wine and support and let me vent. And thank you to all the faculty here at Sac State. Thank you.
And now for Dr. Caroline Turner, Dr. Jenny Murphy will introduce Anna Keck.
Standing on the shoulders of giants. Using the understanding gained by major thinkers who have gone before in order to make intellectual progress. A doctoral program allows you to step fully into that space. And Anna Victoria Keck stepped fully into that space. That's right. Creating a home for adult undergraduates, a case study of an adult learner success center was her dissertation. She studied scholars in the field, and she studied practitioners in the field. And she is making headway for the over 38 million working age adults in this nation that have some college and no degree. Here in California, that number is 6.8 million, And closer to home here in the Sacramento region, over 354,000 working age adults with some college, no degree, often feel shame, they feel unwelcome, and they face barriers returning to school. Anna's work in this dissertation runs throughout her day job, her night job, it runs through her blood. Her dissertation work has spawned us to put together an Adult Learner Success Center through the College of Continuing Education. Her research paper was the basis for a funding proposal. We don't have all the money yet, so feel free to contribute, but we are going to launch an Adult Learner Success Center on Sacramento State's campus because of her work in this program, because of her commitment to this work. I am here tonight standing on the shoulders of another giant, Dr. Caroline Turner, who's an inspiration to many of us, and I take that honor very seriously. I have worked with Anna for, I don't know, 15 years? Oh my God, have we known each other that long? I didn't realize I aged. We have published together after she finished her master's program. I have seen her grow. I have seen her family grow. And I am proud of her as a critical member of the College of Continuing Education of Sacramento State. And I couldn't be more honored to call you a colleague and a friend, but mostly I'm honored to call you Dr. Anna Victoria Keck.
Wow, I'm not sure she was actually talking about me with all of those things. Thank you. I'd like to thank my committee, Dr. Turner, Dr. Murphy, Dr. Mills. This wouldn't be possible without their support and guidance and pushing me further. My cohort, you guys have been amazing through all the times when I thought, nope, I can't do this. I just can't do it. Not going to happen. I started this program with 2 children, and I'm ending this program with 4 children. So having twins in my first year was a really good motivator to quit. And the only reason I didn't is because of my husband, Ben Duncan, and my 2 children who reminded me every night to do my homework because they had to do their homework. And my 2 little babies, Charlie and Henry, who made life insane but motivated me to continue. We've all done this together. We're all going to do amazing things and continue to serve our communities and serve the region. And I'm so excited to be part of this cohort and part of this program. Thank you.
King, good to see you. In the flesh, right? Your research is more timely than ever. With college retention rates across many institutions needing direct attention and focus, your research has surfaced significant insights into the success of those who are fortunate to make the graduation and contributions to our understanding of those factors that improve persistence. Dr. Turner sends her biggest congratulates to you, and she and I commend you on your development as a researcher and look forward to seeing the impact of your work. Congratulations, Dr. Zhang.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to first thank the EDD program, from faculty to staff members, for providing me and my cohort members with just a high world-class education. Thank you so much. Specifically, Dr. Turner, Dr. Jugonatos, Dr. Jainesh Singh, for all of your support in my dissertation process and project. Again, my cohort members as well for being together. We started the program together, went through a pandemic, and now we're here. Really grateful for that. And lastly, for my family, especially my sister who's here, along with all my siblings, for your inspiration, for challenging me to keep going and for always believe in me. Also for my parents, Dr. V. Monet,
And lastly, to my wife, I just appreciate you for being by my side through everything. It would not be possible without you, and thank you all.
And now for Dr. Caroline Turner, Dr. Sarah Huguenatos will introduce Yi Ya.
Yee. I remember teaching you in one of the classes, and he introduced himself, and I said, I think he should be the teacher. I mean, this man has more knowledge of the K-12 system than most people I know. Today, more than ever, our community should be focused on the learning and well-being of our youth. Dr. Yang, your research has brought to light critical challenges and opportunities for Hmong youth that will also benefit all at-risk youth communities. As a parent myself, I am truly encouraged by your passion for people, especially our youth, and know that your research lens will support populations to come. On behalf of Dr. Turner, we congratulate you, and we are so honored to stand with you on this journey. Congratulations, Dr. Yang.
Oh, honey, where's my wife? Wave, where are you? Hey, this is for you, hon. I just want you to know how appreciative I am of you. You know, those nights where I'm not in the master bedroom with you, but in my own separate room. We've had to do that because, you know, this has not been an easy journey. You know, I work as a school principal, and then at the same time, I also have 8 kids, right? And so the challenge of running a big family and working, you know, in that job 10, 12 hours a day, and with all the challenges we've had the last couple of years, have been really, really challenging. And so she's been patient, but also to my children, I always challenge them to make sure that they're going above and beyond and developing the capacity that they need to be professionals, particularly in a competitive world like what we live in now. And then to my committee, of course, you know, to Dr. Jugonatos, Dr. Vang, and also Dr. Turner, for the 5 a.m. texts, for the 11 o'clock calls at night. Dr. Turner, it's 11 o'clock, but without her constant, right, love and care and a sense of responsibility and accountability, I don't think I would be here, because there were moments when I just said, oh gosh, I don't know how I can keep doing this, right? This is just too hard. But having somebody like that available to push you and prod at you, that was great. So thank you, Dr. Turner. And lastly, to my older brother and my sister-in-law who are here tonight, want to thank them for serving as, you know, the parents of my household, for our siblings and our brothers when my father passed away, and then for my clan, because we've never had a doctor in the Ya clan. And so this is the first time that we have a doctorate in our Ya clan. I mean, there are 3 different branches of Ya clan, but this is the first time that we've actually have a doctor, and the intention was to open that door so that we know it's achievable. So, thank you very much. I see the red cart, and my time is done. Yeah.
And now Dr. Robert Wasmer will be introducing our final graduate, Elizabeth Hendrick.
Wow, this has been a great ceremony. Having the last name of W, I do end up oftentimes last, so I will try to make it worth your while. Congratulations to all of you in the Sac State ED class of 22, or cohort 13. I mean, 13 could have been considered an unlucky number, but I like Dr. Watson's take on it in regard to you know, the challenges in creating these diamonds in the rough, and I fully agree with that. I think back to what was it, the fall of 20, right, when I taught you EDD 602, and finally remember it was the last time before the pandemic that we were in class. I had the pleasure of getting to know all of you then. and appreciated that first course in education policy. I know all of you, wait a minute, perhaps I should correct this statement and say at least some of you reflect fondly on that experience. And the fondness may grow better over time. But enough of that. I'm here to hood Beth Hendrick, Dr. Beth Hendrick, for whom I had the honor of serving as her primary dissertation advisor with the assistance of her secondary advisors, Dr. Romero and Dr. McClellan, Sarah McClellan in the PPA program. After EDD 602, that experience that I just talked about may have drummed up some memories in you. Beth fancied even understanding more about K-12 education policy in California, particularly the K-12 local control funding formula, or as it's known as LCFF. This began 9 years ago with the promise to offer California school districts the needed resources to overcome widely observed equity gaps, right, that are occurring. Beth was very interested in that topic, studying it further. She agreed to work with me as a research assistant. Much was accomplished in that year, in her second year, and her dissertation topic was born because of that. I am proud to report that she became also the first EDD student to serve as a teaching assistant to a first-year doctorate class. I and the first-year EDD students of this year truly appreciated her help by attending all classes in person and through her valuable writing and homework feedback. Beth's dissertation, I'm sorry I did not write down the title, but I'll just go through it to give you the Reader's Digest version of it, documents the purpose and implementation of LCFF in California. In particular, she focuses on the Local Control Accountability Plan, the LCAPs, right? Aims to generate parent participation in a school district's budgetary process and seeks grassroots ideas on using these resources to reduce the equity gaps that I mentioned. Beth persevered in getting her required interviews with LCAP directors in similar California school districts. In a summary that does not do it justice, she concludes that there is still room for improvement in the process in which she skillfully describes in her dissertation. Most beneficial from the policy perspective, she offers suggestions on how best to implement her suggested reforms. To Dr. Hendrick's credit, she maintained a perfect 4.0 GPA in her EDD classes. And as we learned yesterday, let me be slow in mentioning this, she was honored with the award for the best graduate paper in all of the CSU, in the California State University, in a CSU-wide research competition sponsored by the Social Science Research and Information Consortium that occurred earlier this month. Beth, I know that you have learned a lot and accomplished a lot in these last 3 years. I'm glad I got to participate in that process. This hooding signifies the start of much of the same in the rest of your career in education.
Hi, friends. Don't worry. I know I'm the last, so I won't take the full 2 minutes. Thank you to my husband, Mike, who shouldered the burden of our family for the past 3 years, and to my daughter, Juliet, who is the most amazing little human that the world has ever seen. Juliet, you inherit a world filled with problems that you did not create. I know that you will solve one through humility, grace, and patience. You can move mountains. Just start by pushing hard. To my Cohort 13, we didn't always get along, but I respect all of you deeply, and I know that you will make big changes in the world. To my DCDs, keep rocking on. To my amazing dissertation chair, Dr. Rob Wasmer, who took someone who knew nothing about policy and turned it into an award-winning paper. Thank you. Dr. Lisa Romero, thank you for reining me in when I needed it. And to Dr. Sarah McClellan, who's not here tonight, thank you for providing solutions when I didn't have any. Everyone else, let's go party. We're done.
All right. Good afternoon, graduates, families, and my esteemed colleagues. I have the pleasure to announce our winners of this year's Outstanding Dissertation Award and also our Graduate with Distinction Awards. I should say, I am so excited to be in front of you because I had the pleasure of teaching this class, your very last class. And I don't know if you all remember, one of our very first assignments or things that we did is we did a manifestation type of activity where you put up a card and said, Dr. Your name, 2022. And here you are. You did it. You did it. So all of you have gotten the award. You have gotten to your goals, and I am so proud of you, and I'm so excited for you. So with that said, I'm going to talk to you about two specific awards that we are going to honor persons today. The first is the Outstanding Dissertation Award, and the awardees that are selected for this particular honor qualify because of their high quality of their dissertation research, the quality of their written analysis and summary of findings, and also the potential for this particular body of work to be able to transform schools and or colleges. The Graduate with Distinction awardee is selected by an evaluation of the candidate's overall cumulative GPA, potential for their dissertation to have great impact, and also demonstration of leadership over the past 3 years. Both of these awards, we received many, many nominations. And as we all heard from the hooding ceremony, so many amazing dissertations were produced this year that it was a very competitive competition and very hard to be able to select. So it went through quite a rigorous process for both of them, having even colleagues from outside of our EDD program that were a part of the reviewing process. So just know that it did take a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get to where we are today to choose just 4 people because they were all so deserving. So I'm proud to announce the awardees. We have 2 for each one of these awards. I'm going to announce the name of each awardee, and if you would, once you hear your name, if you could please make your way up to the front of the stage to be recognized with a certificate and also take a photo. All right. So. Okay, thank you. All right, and our next award for Outstanding Dissertation, this is for Higher Ed, is Dr. Jasmine Campos. Now I will announce our Graduate with Distinction, and they look surprised because it was completely, they did not know. So no, this was something everyone is being surprised with, all of our graduates right here. For our Graduate with Distinction Award, like I said, we had 2, and the first that we received is Dr. Jenna Tryon-Pothalamus. Jenna. And our second, last but not least, is Dr. Beth Hidrick.
All right, and now a quick word from 2 of our esteemed alumni, Dr. Gloria Hernandez and Dr. Teresa Gully-Reed.
Well, congratulations, doctors. You made it. Yeah. Leaders build leaders. And that is something that we take very much to heart. I am from Cohort 1.
And I'm for Cohort 10.
So we are the founding members of Alumni Connections, which in partnership with the DELSA group as well as the EDD faculty, we are here to support the cohorts that are in progress on their dissertation route towards a doctorate. So the stoles that you have today is the first of what we hope to have as a tradition every year for our graduates. But the main thing that we are going to be doing is partnering with DELSA and the faculty on the Pay It Forward Scholarship Program.
Okay. Also, as you can imagine, coordinating all of this takes quite a bit of work and commitment. So anyone that's interested or has the time to help us out, we would really appreciate it. We have a couple of openings right now on the EDD Alumni Connect, and so you can just see any one of us after if you're interested in that position. Thank you so much. Pay it forward. Thank you, and congratulations.
And now we'll have a final word from Faculty Director Dr. Vajra Watson.
Oh, great. Thank you all for being with us. We have reached the end of our program, and after this, please enjoy the food, desserts, and drinks. There's more food that will be in that same room. Putting together an event of this magnitude took an enormous amount of work. I want to appreciate and bring to the stage Parker Scott and Tina Weekly. Please help me recognize also the leadership of Gloria Hernandez and Teresa Reed. For doing the Alumni Connection. Last but certainly not least, I want to give flowers to our Associate Dean, Lisa Romero, who has taught more EDD classes than anyone else and carries this program forward in immeasurable ways. Together, many hands and great minds allow us to continue to build the strongest EDD program in Northern California. A degree from Sac State is nothing to play with. But with that being said, let's really have some fun tonight. Please enjoy yourself. Treat this as your home, please. Make yourselves at home. And if we can cue the music to celebrate good times, come on. Maybe it could even be louder. Hey!
All right, everyone. While we celebrate, I would like all the graduates.